Good morning, class 6. We will continue with the chapter Key Elements of a Democratic Government. Okay, let's see. Why do we have to, there is a need to resolve the conflict. Like, take the example of your house. If you had a fight with your elder brother or your younger sibling, then you have to resolve at a point of time. The reason being, maybe you need his or her pen, or she needs something from you. So, we are all like, we have to help each other. That is what humanity is all about. So, we cannot say that okay fine, disputes are there, we will not resolve, we will not try to resolve, just let it be like that. We cannot do this. That is the reason why India is trying to resolve the conflict with China and as well as Pakistan. They are taking all the efforts to resolve the conflict. So, obviously we can say that there is a need to resolve the conflict. Now, let us see what it is written here. In Maya's story, you read about how conflicts can often lead to violence and death, because one group decides that it is all right to use force to prevent the other group from protesting. Conflicts occur when people of different cultures, religions, regions, or economic backgrounds do not get along with each other, or when some among them feel they are being discriminated against. People may use violent means to settle their differences. This leads to fear and tension among others living in an area. The government is responsible for helping to resolve conflicts. Let's read about some of the conflicts in our society and the role of the government in resolving them. The Indian Constitution lays down the basic rules or laws that have to be followed by everyone. These laws are for both the government and the people. Conflicts and differences have to be resolved. According to these laws, we will read more about this in later classes. So, that is the reason that Government of India keeps on trying to resolve the conflicts at the borders. Religious procession and celebration can sometimes lead to conflict. For example, the route procession may lead to a conflict. The government, particularly the police, play an important role in getting representatives of concerned communities to meet and try and arrive at a solution. At times, there is fear that violence may erupt, with some people throwing stones or trying to disrupt the procession. The police is responsible for ensuring that violence does not take place. Rivers too can become a source of conflict between states. A river may begin in one state, flow through another, and end in a third. The sharing of river water between different states that the river goes through is becoming an issue of conflict. For example, you may have heard about the Kaveri water dispute between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The water stored in Krishna Raja Sagar Dam in Karnataka is used for irrigating a number of districts and for meeting the needs of the city of Bangalore. The water stored in Mettur Dam in Tamil Nadu is used for crops grown in delta region of that state. A conflict arises because both dams are on the same river. The downstream dam in Tamil Nadu can only be filled up if water is released from the upstream one located in Karnataka. So, you can understand what is the reason of conflict, that both the dams are on the same river. So, the dam which is on the upper hand, that is which is on the upper side, if it will release the water, then only the dam on the lower side will fill up. So, the downstream dam in Tamil Nadu can only be filled up if water is released. Therefore, both states can't get as much as water they need for people in their states. This leads to conflict. The central government has to step in and see that a fair distribution is worked out for both states. So, in such cases, central government comes in and tells that takes the decision that how much water each state will get. Equality and justice. One of the key ideas of a democratic government is its commitment to equality and justice. Equality and justice are inseparable. So, if there is equality, there will be justice, or if there is justice, equality has to be there. So, discuss. In Maya's story, did the government support the idea that people are equal? In Dr. Ambedkar's story, Did the practice of untouchability support the idea that people are equal? The earlier practice of untouchability is now banned by law. This group of people were denied education, transport, or medical facilities, and even the chance to offer prayers. Dr. Ambedkar, whom you have read about earlier in this book, and many others like him, realized that such practices must not continue and that justice can only be achieved when people are treated equally. The government also recognizes this and makes special provision for groups within society that are unequal. For instance, in our society, there is a general tendency to value and care for the boy child more than the girl child. This means that society does not value the girl and boy child equally, and this is unjust. In this context, the government steps in to promote justice by providing special provisions that can enable girls to overcome the injustice that they are subjected to. This is possible that fees for girls might be waived off or lowered in government schools or colleges. You must have seen that lot of policies government is bringing up so that the girl child is also getting the can also get the equality or is treated at par with the boys. Like there are many policies you can just you can ask your parents in which the like government is providing support to the poor families by that's why they have started that slogan Kanya Padhao something like this, which I cannot recall that exactly. um, wait sorry Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao, right. So, the reason is because there are many families who feel that a girl child is not acceptable in the society or is like will bring disgrace to the family. So, what they do is they kill the female fetus even before the child is born. So, just to avoid all this, we can in our country you cannot get to know the gender of the child before the child is born. Therefore, like you can say that abortions are banned in our country. So, these steps have been taken just to stop the killing of the girl child. How do you think lowering the school fees would help girl attend schools? Can you think of any experience from your life in which you have helped someone out of a situation which you thought was unfair? Did everyone else see it the same way? What did you have to say to convince others that what you did was fair? Okay. So, you can see that there are many policies government has launched in which the government is asking people to save some money, and later on the government will help in that amount, increase that amount so that the girl child could study or could get married something, right. So, the reason is why not the boys, just because the boys are already, you must have seen maybe in your family or in your locality a girl child is sent to a school where the fees and everything is very less, whereas the boys are sent to the school which is to a good schools, right. So, this is all what we call as discrimination. That is all for today class. Please do all the question answers in your notebook. Just check the syllabus. In the next class or on the live class, we will discuss your MCQs test so that you can just see your paper, and if you have any confusion, those confusions can be resolved. So, be prepared in the next class. Bring your notebooks, like I will just check it over in the class itself. Be safe, take care. Thank you.